That's a little better. Once upon a time, I would go to places where I might play, and I just go and get a drink or something. Be there, just be. Don't bring a guitar. Don't. Just be. Kind of ask the space, like, am I wanted here? Do I fit in here? Now, I probably didn't start like that, but that's how I learned to do it. And by having a little bit less of an agenda, I think I tuned into dreams that I never would have been able to come up with on my own. Well beyond. Much better for me. There's a whisper might find easy to ignore. Now, first of all, I often sound different to myself when I record it. Like, I can vacillate largely between, seems like, two poles. I'm just kind of warming into this. And one's, not particularly flattering. And I'm aware that there seems to be some kind of simplicity in this. Like, two, this should integrate, right? And yet, I often find that my left hand gets really a lot more tired, and my pointer finger in particular gets, I'm left in pain when I play a lot. And I wonder if it's like that. It's like one aspect to the creation of the whole is in pain, and it's not okay. And I'm striving for this other embrace, this other interpretation that feels very positive, and yet that positivity, that form of positivity, is like a low-level dream. Gotta dream bigger, higher, more, to the integration shore. It is all I implore you to see. And if you courage when you suffer much less than you used to, if you'll choose to be, there's more that you can see inside that calls you, and everything is not a metaphor for what is all for you. Join, come when it's your time, when it's your turn, and your rhythm and your line. Burn and turn yourself into who you truly need to be. What my prayer got a lot to say, and I will not have to suffer the way I refuse. I have got a better dream than I followed before. I did well. I chastised myself for not celebrating more. I got a tour. I'm staying still. I'm going on tour. I'm staying still. Pass the energy around at will. Touch, ignite, feel the light. Everyone is born with a true insight. If you would like to activate, got to commit to lose your hate. If you would like to love some more, relate to a world beyond war. If you would like to suffer less, reap again and choose to be your best. But you are not the judge of it all. You cannot see what you cannot fall in love with. You are the only one who can activate yourself beyond the hate of this terribly small pond. If you could just radiate, you're never too late. It's never too late. Turn on, be strong, and suffer when you need to. More is a noose than you ever understood. Again, like you can't get the promises you want, but you have got to exist within the fountain, the light, the mountain, the haze, the grounding, the ever resounding sounds of this love. Call me in, living on the edge again. It resounds, call me in. Hey, living on the edge again. I got rhythms and I got rhymes. I hear these curses before their time. I don't want to tear you down. I don't get high on breaking other sounds. I want you to thrive, be alive, and turn into a little bit more loving of a soul. If you're just there hating on another, waiting for your shadow to call you its lover. If you are just there fighting to see rage and hate, the longing to be. If you don't understand what you do, what you care about, who you are, if you don't embrace your best and choose to suffer less. I belong to the song of the world. I belong to the song of the world. Choose. I belong to the song of the world. This guitar. This is a Sundance guitar. 1999, I left. And I landed in a house that my grandparents owned. They had to leave. And I moved in, and my first roommate moved into the apartment. It was like an apartment that shared the same entrance. It's a lovely little entrance, and there was one way, a door with the other. In the apartment, this man, it was my first company. And he made guitars in the basement. He made guitars. He was a lifelong craftsman, actor, amazing. He was part of the actor's studio, and this incredible ability to teach, to immerse himself, to dive into being. And when he chose to create guitars in our basement, there was just this creative life force that sprang into being in a way that's just awesome. This was the third guitar he completed and was really happy with. And it's unique. It bears, I guess, the awareness that it was the third guitar he made. But the man who most recently worked on it said, I had to keep it to play it more. If this was my guitar, I would just keep fixing it for the rest of my life. For its life is so worthwhile. It's beautiful. It carries the life of this. This is a piano beam that was in a piano that got built into the basement. And some of the ivory is from there, from the piano keys. So sometimes I feel like I've been watched as if I'm smirking. Like I'm the person trying to pull the trigger on you and hurt you. And sometimes I think that's like a cruel projection, like I take on shit by embodying that. And sometimes I think there's a wounded part of me. like a boy in me that just, really isn't as loving as I want to be. And all I can tell you is I don't agree with either of those ways. And I'm the being that tries to resonate beyond the hate and believe it's never too late to look inside and choose to be beyond the limits that you once were. Look inside and choose to be someone who lives, heals, and loves, someone who leads himself into the way of life that you're going to be, someone who recreates themselves to love so deeply, has to look back and say thank you, embrace the life you've been through, be proud of who you are, embrace the love that's calling from the stars, be proud of who you are, embrace the love that's calling from the stars. See, a lot of times I like playing by myself, and in fact, it's often I feel like my skills and ability deteriorate when I share it, which is, it's sad. And yet, I live with a vibrant sense that I am being witnessed. But here's the thing, there's something about reaching humans. The human. Now look, being human is not just being in a body that looks like this and talks like this and acts remiss when it doesn't kiss, refuses the bliss that it needs, but when it hails the sound of the current of dreams. You are the one who can choose where you are, believe where you are, love where you are. You are the one that tries to relate to the world that exists well beyond the boundaries of hate. Is a form of desire that could not sustain the fire. It blames, it rages, it turns itself into the pain that it once knew. It blames, it rages, it turns itself into the pain that it once knew, and that it's still there, it's still suffering, it's still aware of the buffering, but it's not enough, and it never will be, because if you sing the song of suffering, you'll keep creating, re-relating to the hating, you'll recreate and re-relate to the hating without abating. The fate says you've got to turn your feet into the dance. Your face says your feet can talk with the way they walk. Your feet, they can talk with the way they walk. They move this way, that way, the other way around. Everybody knows to turn into sound. You've got to be tapping, lapping and leaping, holding yourself beyond the deep in the sound of what you can be. There is the love that only can see you well. When you pray from the center of this, when you pray from the center of this, when you pray for the center of this, when you pray for the center of this. Something got lost, when people watch art that others create with anything other than loving eyes, loving witness, because how you see affects what's real. So for instance, if you brought attention, your attention is fractured, frayed, because you're pulled by something that's not healthy and not well. And then you witness something else. And you don't recognize that you've brought something that's not well to the table, and the tension between what you've brought and what you see is not pleasant. If the blessing of your witness would help support me in singing to exactly what needs to be sung to. Rung to, there's a bell that creates the life that we're leading that relates. Hey, what you gotta say when the lightning calls its way? Hey, like a white horse you're riding deeper inside than you've ever been hiding. Hey, like a wild horse you're riding deeper inside than you've ever been hiding. Look, I'm not running. away. I'm dancing through life as if it's all okay. Look, I'm not chasing my wind. I'm just learning to begin again. Today, I went and bought some cannabis. The first time I've legally bought cannabis in New York. Whew. My experience has been that cannabis was a big part of my life for a long time. First time I smoked it, I diffused a fight with someone who challenged me to a fight by looking at him with loving and kindly humorous eyes. And his aggression melted and I was not hurt. And I was blessed with this sense of, hey, it doesn't have to be that way. I didn't have to be weak. It's like I danced. And yet living with this sense that the healing power of this has been ostracized. And in that ostracism, many see it through the lens of something they bring to the table. If you're taught that something's bad, like let's look at this, let's say two people who have never touched this substance. One of them is an adult and another is a child. And the adult teaches the child to believe that this is bad. And so when the adult is saying this, they are creating an energy. They're saying this is bad. They're creating this energy with the implication that it's an objective truth. But I assure you, they are creating something crucially negative that they project into the experience. And in that creation, there's an energy. It exists. It exists. And people who smoke have taken the hit. And the goal has been to transmute that. It's good shit. Shit you can transmute into something means you get to be an artist. You get to live a little happier, a little wilder, a little more humorously, and perhaps a little less perfectly in relation to standards that are like, I don't know, they exist, but is that the vibe you're flowing with? Is that the vibe you're flowing with? Is that what you are growing with? Is that what you are knowing with? Is it your heart that truly sees? Is that what you are creating under? Is that what you are listening to? Is that the vibe that exists in you? Is that the wisdom that's calling you through into a path? Whew, I'm feisty, I'm like, I'm gonna play my fiddle in the forest. Play my fiddle. I haven't got it right. Gotta find the rhythm right. Play my fiddle in the forest. Play my fiddle in the woods. And play my fiddle in the fall. See, I'm using this like grunge chord progression. It's not working. I can't get out of it. Play my fiddle in the forest. Play my fiddle in the woods. Play my fiddle in the forest so the deer could feel real good. Oh, some say it's easy. Take it easy for me. Play my fiddle in the forest so the deer could feel real good. Pluck my bass in the mountain. Pluck my bass on the ground. Pluck my bass in the mountains so the bears can make a growly sound. It's going right back into grunge. How frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. I want to share Casper Baby Pants with you. Wonderful child. What the new Rafi, for sure. Rafi, a wonderful human being as far as I know. I really dearly hope that that's true. Abundant all around, resplendent with sound. Conundrum has ended with the ground. Doesn't send down with the sound. Calling on the name, oh, calling on the name, calling on the name, calling on the name. Abundant, resplendent. Conundrum has ended. We all find transcendent chance. Rain, calling on the name. For the longest time, I didn't watch the fretboard. I wanted to play in the dark really well. And so I wanted to teach myself to play just by feel. And it's questionable how, like I wasn't giving myself a tool that I had. Like my vision is challenged, it's poor. And in many ways I was trying to embrace something without it so I didn't have to be as afraid of not having it. But all the same, I can see well enough to let this help me hit the right frets, which gives me more confidence that I haven't carried. It's frustrating. I freestyled this with some people that I ultimately left, and I didn't know I was going to be leaving them, certainly not as soon as I did. Not to say there isn't another chapter, but this one isn't there, and I care deeply, and I'm very aware of the consequences, the ramifications, the true nature of these situations is that these stations are shared, and you've got to be aware that care that exists in your soul is not all losing, it's not losing, it's not losing. Devotion to the way we live our lives each day. You gotta work. You better learn how to praise the way you're being. Start seeing the sacredness within each blessed moment that we share. We got a courage in this, different kind of dare. And I commit myself to the best that I am aware of by trusting and deeply in love. Yeah, devotion to the way we live our lives each day. Gotta learn to walk on water. First you gotta learn to praise the way of being. Start seeing the sacredness within each blessed moment that we share. Got a courage in this simple kind of dare, and I commit myself to the best that I am aware of by trusting love when it doesn't make more sense than it used to. Gotta keep on forging onward as if we've lost every shoe and tried to hide within this menace of a future you can't see. Stop hiding your fears ahead. Voices of the dead, keep talking till you learn to say goodbye. 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 All right. I'll do it one more time. Listen, devotion to the way we live our lives each day. Gotta learn to walk on water. First, you gotta learn how to pray as a way of being. Start seeing the sacredness within each blessed moment that we share. I've got a courage in this simple kind of dare, and I commit myself to the best that I am aware of. By trusting deeply, truly in love. Yes, devotion to the way we live our lives each day. Gonna learn to walk on water. First, you gotta learn how to pray as a way of being. It's the brave dream, seen. Start seeing the sacredness within each blessed moment that we share. Got a courage in this simple kind of dare, and I commit myself to the best that I am aware of. By trusting in love. When it doesn't make more sense than it used to, gonna keep on forging onward as if we've lost every shoe we tried to hide within this menace of a future you can't see. Stop. Stop hiding your fears ahead. Voices of the dead, keep talking till you learn to say goodbye. Oh, ja, man, das schöne wunderbar. Right. Play my fiddle in the fall. I think I can do it now. Let's see. Blow my fiddle in the forest. Blow my fiddle in the wood. Blow my fiddle in the forest so the deer can feel real good. Oh, some say it's easy. Take it easy for me. Blow my fiddle in the forest so the deer can feel real good. I'm gonna pluck my bass on the mountains, pluck my bass on the ground, pluck my bass in the mountains so the bears can make a growly sound. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. Oh, my fiddle in the mountains, whoops, so the bears can make a growly sound. Play my piano in the water, play my piano in the sea. Play my piano in the water, so the fishies can dance with me. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. Blow my fiddle in the water, so the fishies can dance with me. Carve my drum from an oak or maple, carve my drum from a tree. Carve my drum from an oak or maple, so the birds can sing with me. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. I just keep wanting to bow that fiddle. I keep just wanting to bow that fiddle. I used to play when I was fourth grade. Strum my guitar in the city, strum my guitar in the town, strum my guitar in the city so the babies can all get down. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. My guitar in the city so the babies can all get down. Blow my fiddle in the forest, blow my fiddle in the wood, blow my fiddle in the forest so the deer can feel real good. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. Blow my fiddle in the forest so the deer can feel real good. Play my piano in the water, play my piano in the sea. Play my piano in the water so the fishes can dance with me. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. My piano in the water so the fishes can dance with me. Pluck my bass in the mountains, pluck my bass on the ground, pluck my bass in the mountains so the bears can make a growly sound. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. I will pluck my bass in the mountains so the bears can make a growly sound. And I'll strum my guitar in the city, strum my guitar in the town, strum my guitar in the city so the babies can all get down. Oh, some say it's easy, take it easy for me. Strum my guitar in the city so the babies can all get down. That's why I am here. And I've always been, the idea of battling makes me so sad artistically. The reassurance I get in prayer is that essentially we've been living through a time during which there are a lot of fundamentally unacceptable vibrations, patterns, ways of being. We're essentially living in an energetic, karmic compost pile. And within this compost pile, competitions where you're sort of tearing through feelings, because that's what you're doing. You know, you're sort of pitting feelings and people's ability to channel them against each other, and then you're choosing. And really, it's on a certain level, it's unimportant who wins. The point is to just keep moving through them, rather than the chaos of them running around bashing into everything. You pit two similarly intense things against each other, and they calm down and they do less damage. And over time, there's a coherence that emerges. And yet, when you remember, as you remember, love, as it deeply is, as it really is, as it is in a space where I always wish you well. I always wish you well. Whoever you are, I wish you well. You're a child molester with no remorse and brutality. Now, bear in mind, wishing you well means go to Michael, be with Michael, let him teach you. Archangel Michael knows how to do that shit. And that's wishing you well. Resenting me for that makes no sense whatsoever, because it's about praying that you reunite with love, and love has to bring you out of these things, because otherwise you live in them for fucking ever, and you're stuck in the karmic loop of it, and that's terrifying, and you know it's terrifying. So I'm gonna ace through injustice, attune truest need, only take to invest blessings, sustaining indeed. When I'm done, won my brain. Pain silences fears no more. I'm alive, and I'll thrive in the depths. When I'm staring dead on at want, tend to feed sames as if lifting you past what I am, what remains. Tame this beast, bless this feast, screaming out as a man. Every dream that I follow is begging this planet to be. Begging this planet to be. Oh, begging this planet to be. Begging this planet to be. Begging this planet to be. She's interrupting me to point out that I don't need to beg. She's coming to life. Black and brown men atone for the fears they remake, shocking, sinister images others create. Their grandmother's mother once cried through the rapes. We have the audacity to continue forsaking them. Because we're not just standing on the backs of the bruised, these are bones at our feet, and our trust has been misused. Honest vision, allow me the courage to see, with the strength to unbury American dreams. Strength to unbury American dreams. The strength to unbury American dreams. It's a nightmare. It's a haunting. It knows how to choose. Try and hide. It'll unmask the American ruse. With wild horses calling, I learned how to ride. I lead through the terror that's screaming inside. For each pleasant white picket fence that kills corn, there's a basement that's filling with boxes of porn. Paste a smile on your face. Give your kids farm a crack. Because each truth that gets buried will breed and come back. Each truth that gets buried will breed and come back. Each truth that gets buried will breed and come back. Understand the truth is nothing to fear. All the truth does that you could fear is destroy lies. And if you're holding something that's ultimately a lie and you don't want to let go for whatever reason, it's a good idea to let the truth win. And as I say this, I could not say this unless I surrender yet again. I'm like, yep, me too. Again and again, it's a constant surrender. I mean, it's fine with me if you found some path or someone who seems to be a constant in their energetic presence. My experience is that don't put me in a hierarchy. I exist within a way of being that loves life deeply. I love life. And I move through the suffering as best I can, and I absolutely pray that it lessen to the extent that we, those I love and I, can continue to move into a thriving life, because sometimes change hurts. And I won't pray not to get hurt first. Now, I pray now, like as I'm riding, as I'm going, as I'm grooving, I pray, make it hurt less. If I could make it, if I don't have to fall, slip and hit my head, I'd rather not. But there's a certain depth of embrace of, it's time to surrender again. I've lived, I've sprouted, I've burst into life, become a bright, brilliant flower. And then there's a time at which that flower dies, and you can cut it and put it in water and put fertilizer in it. Maybe pump it with some steroids, some flower plant steroids of some sort. But the reality is there's a cycle. Be with the cycle. When it's time to surrender, you surrender. Don't hold an isness that supposedly transcends that. It's boring. That is a lie. It's a lie that keeps you asleep, that prevents you from recognizing the beauty beyond this. Be this, and when it's time to let it go, let it go. All right, where is it? 10 fingers counting each have we. 9 planets circle the sun. Repeat. 8 balls the last if we triumphant be. 7 oceans pummel the shores of the sea. It's a typical situation in these typical times. Too many choices. It's a typical situation in these typical times. Too many choices. Well, everybody's happy. Everybody's free. Keep the big door open. Everyone will come around. Why are you different? Why are you that way? If we don't get in line, we'll lock you away. It all comes down to nothing. We can't do a thing about it. It all comes down to nothing. 6 senses circle 5 around a sense of self. 4 corners. 4 seasons turn on and turn off. They turn on and then they turn off. And yet, in so many ways, I believe I have been raised to believe I can control the flowering. I can say, this is what I create, and it will become a permanent flower that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Not explicitly, but as if we live in a world where that's the case, where the winners do that or something. And I undoubtedly, everyone did not receive such influences. Six senses circle 5 around a sense of self. 4 horns turn on. 4 seasons turn on and turn off. What am I missing? Today someone said they could feel spring. And I was like, no, I don't want spring to come yet. I reversed it. I don't want winter to leave. That's what's going on. I love the winter. I love the depth of cold because I feel like I can burn hotter. I preferred it to summer. I like summer. But I think it was my way of not falling into the cycle of, oh, it's so cold or it's so dark. Like it. Six senses circle 5 around a sense of self. 4 seasons turn on and turn off. I still can see 3 corners from this corner. 2's a perfect number, but 1, oh, everybody's happy, everybody's free. Keep the big door open, everyone will come around. Why are you different? Why are you that way? If you don't get in line, we'll lock you away. Here's the thing. Can you imagine a world in which every artist that you listen to, You're rooting for them. You don't necessarily give them your time, but you're not saying, oh, that sucked. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, that guy's an asshole. Oh, she doesn't deserve that attention. You're always saying, I wonder what their calling is. I hope they get it. I hope they live it. I hope they're in love with life. I hope that love channels through them and attracts other people who love it, and they thrive and they enjoy it. And then we get along in whatever way is necessary. No, it's not absent entirely, that idea, for sure. But I think there's a sense of, you root for people on your team, but you don't root for anybody else. And certainly everybody's not on the same team. We're going against other people in some form. The kids are trained in sports, and I've done my best to reject sports because of it. They're taught to fear each other. They're taught to say, I'm better than you. They're taught that as if it's inevitable that we learn to think that way. And I've been reassured, as I've mentioned, that this is part of posting karma. But it's not the ultimate love. There's this ultimate love where I wish you well. I wish you well, whoever you are, wherever you may be. I'm wishing you well, whatever you need. I don't know what that is. I am not your benefactor in all likelihood. I'm a stop on the path. I'm a hello. And I say, what do you really need, and are you really ready to surrender to it? Because when you surrender to that which is beyond your understanding, it's scary every time I touch it. Has to be. To say, yes, I am willing to let life cut that deep. It's scary. It's tear you apart. I worked with, I love Native American Dine shaman. And in our ceremonies, someone, often his son, would beat this drum, and it was just like relentless. Boom, boom. I atone with the living. I atone with the living trees. Let them teach. Sustainable living. And I can learn to trust this way here. No matter how hard it is, I will keep on stepping. Please help us to attune with what you ask us to be. With Mother Gaia, please help us inspire. Tune us with the fires of your yearning. Cause we are burning way too much to burn. When will we ever learn? Ice caps melt, storms and oceans rise. Can't see forests through the trees. Cut them down, kill the bees. Ecosystems death through suicidal sea. This is not how humans are meant to feed. We're making choices based in short-term greed, and I'm hearing voices that speak for the tree. Saying tune, yes attune, yes attune, yes attune to the living. Tune with the living. Blackened ocean, poison river, kill the streams as we tear the mountains down. To steal their hearts, can't see forward through suicidal seed. This is not how humans are meant to feed. We're making choices based in short-term greed, and I'm hearing voices that speak for the trees. If there is a way our love can dance into remission, the superstitions that were made, please align our grace so we can bring life back here. Calling out the name of love, down the fire, cleanse the essence of the land. Calling on the name of love, please help us understand. I want to know who is in command. We are making choices we do not understand, and I'm hearing voices that speak for the land. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your witness. Unless you're kicking me shit, then fuck off. I'm so like... The night that I heard that Melvin had passed away, it was a rainstorm, a tearing rainstorm. And I was playing, and I got this song. So simple. Abundance all around, resplendent with sound. Conundrum has ended with the ground. We all find transcendence with the rain. Calling on the rain. Calling on the rain. Calling on the rain. Calling on the rain. Uncomfortable, to say the least, you know. I know this thing in me. Some part of me is deeply committed to honesty over any form of perfection. And I like allowing the mistakes. And of course, I've wondered if that's an excuse for sloppiness. And yet my experience has been that when I allow an interruption in a song to change the song, I learn to be a better person, even if the music doesn't always get better by plenty of standards. And I've loved that. Now, that's not to say I can't improve dramatically in other ways, technical ways, proficiency, presence. And yet, there are many things to value and measure. That's just one, and it hasn't been number 1, 2, or 3 for me. What else do I need to share? There's a violence, an energetic violence, a hit, resentment and pain and repressed grief and ignored dreams, petulant feeling that has vented out on people, other people, for so long. And to say it's normal, to say it's okay, is not okay. You take the most despicable person who's violated multiple boundaries that we all cherish. Okay, a simple question. When you beat that person up, do they become more or less likely to generate hate and dream of repeating their transgressions or even succeed in doing them again? When you hate that person, do they become more or less likely to do it again? Now, I'm not even talking about beating them up or despising them in public, embarrassing them, shaming them, torturing them. I'm just asking a simple question. When you hate someone, when you resent someone, when you despise someone, does it make them more or less likely to repeat what they did? It's a question. That's it. That's how I get back into Jesus Christ, forgiveness. Forgiveness preserves you from making that mistake. Forgiveness doesn't mean you pretend something didn't happen. Forgiveness doesn't mean you refuse to prepare yourself to be aware that someone might threaten or hurt or maim or do anything that's beyond a moral boundary that we need. Forgiveness just means that you don't hold them with hatred. You move through your negative feelings, your understandable negative feelings. You move through them. You maybe feel them. That's not failure. But don't allow them to lead you, to make your decisions for you. And certainly do not maintain hate. Don't create hate. Burns you. Maybe it gets through to them. And in the suffering it induces, it pushes them to inflict pain on another who they somehow feel more powerful than. And thus, the cycle continues. Forgiveness means participating in ending the cycle. The drought, tangerine, some say long, it is a flower, and you, its only seed.